We're friggin' nobodies. We're Jacob and Noah. We're friggin' nobodies. Welcome to our show. We're friggin' nobodies. We don't know much. We're friggin' nobodies. We're old and out of touch.
Okay, so starting over there.
We're going to start over. So,
All right,
good
starting
day.
over. Hey, hi.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Noel.
We're
And
friggin' nobodies.
both of us are.
Yeah.
There was a preamble that I had before, but I'm going to forget. I'm going to jump right into today's topic, which I picked. He didn't. The world is made for idiots.
Sorry, I wanted you to say vampires again. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
normally, when it comes time to pick a topic for these episodes, it's Jacob that leads the way. Because, well, he's pretty passionate about most things. It's really only the duration of that passion that varies.
I'm sorry.
Look at you breaking down, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The world is not a vampire. As a quick aside, one of the ladies in my life, are you okay over there?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got the giggle fits? What's going
A
on?
little bit. I just imagine him singing that like, world's not a vampire. But carry on. Go ahead. It's really stupid.
It's
I'm sorry.
just as dumb as the original. It is, isn't it? Regardless. Sorry. As a quick aside,
It's got a cool drum beat.
one of the ladies in my life long ago said that I was a flaneur, which I had to look up. It's an urban male, a stroller or a loafer, an ambivalent figure, sometimes affluent, who is detached from society and seeking entertainment from the observation of urban life. At first, I thought I was a little offended, and then I realized it could very well be true. And it did, but it didn't really affect me at all. And so, I just kept on. Well, why not be true? So, I've been this way a long time, which is why Jacob normally picks the topics. Recently, though, I got to thinking about what bugs me, enough to gripe about, and I managed to narrow it down to the modern world. So, I'm not the brightest so-and-so on two legs, but I managed to get by in this society without too much effort, on my part. Could it be that I'm secretly a genius and have it all figured out? If so, then it's such a good secret that even I don't know for certain. Why am I so good at life in the first world? Well, it's not just because I'm white. There are many colors of folk that are doing far better than I am. So what is it? Well, the world is designed for idiots. At least as far as the public side interface is concerned. All new tech is user-friendly and intuitive. And if it isn't, then it doesn't stay on the shelves. There are multiple factors of safety baked into our infrastructure, electrical, septic, roadways, food, water, you name it. You gotta work pretty hard to injure yourself in this world. Our information systems are insanely powerful compared to when I was a child. Back then, if you had a library card and you knew the Dewey Decimal System, you could do all right. Assuming you would risk being labeled a nerd for being at the library. The yellow pages could sometimes be helpful, in a pinch. Otherwise, you had to know someone who knew someone else, who was pretty sure about whatever you needed to know. Knowledge was hard-won and hoarded. And if you were an adventurous sort willing to do things by yourself, then the lessons often involved injuries and blood. Now, should we put our sponsor in here?
Do you know who the sponsor is?
Yeah.
Who is our sponsor this week?
Idiots.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord for them.
You're darn right, thank the Lord. Cheers to
Cheers
idiots.
to idiots. Sponsor away, guys.
Made my life easier. So we now have access to most of the human knowledge in our pockets. And if you grew up with that power, then it's both wonderful and debilitating. We don't have to remember things. We have to remember how to get to the apps or sites that have the information we can't be bothered to remember. We no longer have to know how things are done. We have to remember how to access that information to tell us how it's done. It's a strange abstraction of hunter-gatherer, and being old enough to have seen the internet being built, I'm not sure I like this change. The internet is a fowl with vested interest, and it's really developing in unfriendly ways. In the beginning, you needed to know where to go on the internet, or you couldn't get there until Google came along. And all it was a fast search engine. It was a godsend. But now, you can pay to get to the top of Google.
It's been corporatized.
It's been corporatized. They can leave you off the list. It's all been incentivized to pay Google, and they're no longer just a search engine. They're a huge umbrella corporation.
But not evil.
No, they took that out. They took that off their wall.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So if we outsource all of our knowledge to an ephemeral and ever-changing, mutating electronic cloud, then we become very vulnerable to those forces that control the pathways to that knowledge. And God help us all if the communication infrastructure crashes. We won't even be able to look up how screwed we are as a society. Our modern world is designed to be easy to use, intuitive, and user-friendly, so much so that any idiot can function within it. And we, it seems, are happy to pour ourselves into that mold. On the whole, this should be fun to watch, because I've forgotten the grounding that I had growing up. I don't remember phone numbers.
This is still...
No, I'm done. It's going to be a mess. Like, I don't...
It's an interesting topic. I wasn't totally sure what we were going to talk about here, so...
No. I sprung it on him.
Yeah, I knew it was something along these lines.
You knew it was something, huh?
Along those lines. The world is made for idiots, kind of. You explained it roughly on the phone earlier today.
Yes.
That's we didn't really have time to each write a write-up for each thing that we're doing.
Which is why we split up. I like this format.
Not that I'm trying to break the whatever kind of narrative we have and admit this, but we came up with 2 topics. We recorded 2 episodes today. And I'm sort of prepared for one, and he's sort of prepared for the other. And this is the one he's prepared for. And,
I'm a much bigger idiot than he is.
The first thing I have to say about this is that, I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay, so that's the end of the episode.
However, don't you think that the corporatization of Google and the new infrastructures we have is not that different from the way that book publishing would have worked before the internet?
Okay.
So from the printing press, which 1500 or so till 2000 was the main
that
source.
Steve Gutenberg came up with it, right?
From Fleece Academy?
Yeah.
No, that's not the same guy. But
it's close enough.
But during that time period, there were gatekeepers, for to use modern terminology.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That you can always influence what is produced, what is hidden, what is printed. But if I have a book I have a book at home on what herbs to use if I want to get into home brewing. Mm-hmm. That book is always there. It may have not correct information, but if it proves useful, then it's mine until it burns. The text isn't going to change, and I know where it is. It's on my shelf. If I commit it to memory, it's fine there. But if I have a reference to that or a tag on the internet and the software that routes where it can go, that information can disappear. It can just
become incredibly hard to find at the very least.
Become hard to find. It can be corrupted. If I have it at home, unless someone's sneaking into my house and shaking up the book and confusing all the letters, that's my information.
No, I agree with this. The other thought I had, which I had when you first brought up the topic, was that it kind of reminds me of, if you guys know the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov.
There's 6 of those books.
I think, at least there's the robot one too, which is like in the same world.
That's a different trilogy.
It's in the same world.
It is the same world. That really bugged me.
But the concept in the original trilogy, I believe, is that he was imagining the Roman Empire, but on a galactic, cosmic, some kind of other larger scale.
The Roman Empire roamed all the way out into the stars.
And the empire is starting to crumble. So it was like the end of the Roman Empire, but this is the space version, I suppose. And it was crumbling because all the technology around them, the people who ran it were considered priests, religious folk, because nobody really knew how it worked anymore. And now that the infrastructure was falling apart, they were in deep trouble because nobody really knew how to fix anything.
It's like the 40K universe.
Or how to actually function.
So
40K does that too?
Yeah, 40K has all of the techno priests that...
Any miniature nerds out there?
If not, you're probably living a decent life.
I like it.
In my trade, I used to fix elevators. Did I do that? No.
I turned my beer down a splash and went my eyeball.
Yeah, truly built for idiots. We got to talk to somebody about the safety on these cans.
It's getting out of control.
In my trade, I always referred to it as a cargo cult, some of the mechanics that I worked with, because what they would do is they would have essentially an idea of how the thing worked that had no bearing on how it actually worked, that have a vague notion that looks similar but doesn't function the same. And as such, when they went to go fix the equipment, they effectively had a book of spells that they would open up.
Right.
30 fixes for elevators.
Yeah.
And if they didn't work, well, gosh, that was in the hands of the elevator gods. Or you called a smart fellow who knew how things work.
Well, and in some ways too, it's sort of inevitable because as our fields of knowledge get deeper and deeper and deeper, you can't really have a Da Vinci kind of character anymore who is an expert in 4 different fields because the fields have become so deep and impenetrable that you need to be an expert in only that one thing, or we can't mine for new knowledge in that territory.
Yeah, that's at the outer edges, though. In our society, I admit it. When I was in my 20s, it never occurred to me, not once, that somebody built and maintained elevators. Mm-hmm. I knew there were road crews because the city we grew up in, every spring, they were out there. That's how you knew the winter was over, was when the road crews got out there. But there was a whole world of technical infrastructure that I just assumed worked all the time.
Yeah, I've definitely become more appreciative over the years of the invisible army of people who
good save.
make our infrastructure work.
Yes.
So if the power goes out, there's people that we call that go and fix that. If I need clean water coming to my house, I need roads paved, I need the garbage to be taken away. I've become more appreciative of those types of things because that's the real key ingredient to keeping this afloat. Now the above board stuff, like this fancy machine we're talking into here, I have no clue how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, I got people say, "Oh, it's zeros and ones, and there's programming." Like people can give me these, trite explanations that, I understand those types of things on a very broad scale, but I can't build one.
The example that I stick with is,
and I don't think one person could. I bet you there's tons of different people needed to put one of these together.
The professor that I had when I was in university for electromagnetism, which I hate as a course, it never intuitively made sense, but when he was teaching. He's a brilliant man. His name was Tony Arrett. He might be dead. I don't know. I don't think electricity could kill him. He got hit with like 150,000 volts on some Van de Graaff generator. And
that
walked
doesn't
away.
mean it can't kill him.
No, he's probably an electrical being out there somewhere. There's myths about this guy.
Okay.
But he mentioned that he could tell you all of the physics principles behind how a television worked. The old
tube TVs.
Yeah, the old vacuum tube. What are they called? I can't remember. CRT.
CRT, yeah.
So it's a bunch of electron beams scanning.
Yep.
He could tell you how it all worked.
The retro game nerd in me is familiar with these.
He could tell you all the functions on it. He couldn't build one. He has no idea how. And that's how the world works. You can get vague theories of things, and there's specialists.
Yes.
But worse than this, we've talked about
these
this
aren't
before.
the idiots you're talking about, though.
Yes, we are idiots.
Because there's plenty of these people out there who do have these deep fields and they know that one field very deeply. Those aren't the idiots. The idiots are more the people who don't know how any of this stuff really works, and they sit around just chatting in front of a camera, hoping to make money that way.
There's no money in chatting in front of cameras.
There's not for us.
Also,
but there is for some people.
I think,
or they take shots from up above to show off their cleavage, or they whatever it takes, man.
Gosh.
But it's not. So there are people who are really, really smart right now who have incredible depth knowledge within particular fields. But it also has allowed, because now we have this monstrous infrastructure. If you were to go back 10,000 years, it's hard for an idiot to survive in the tribe. Everybody needs to have a base of knowledge to function.
Yes.
Today, maybe not so much. You may be able to get by with very little knowledge.
The issue that I have is, as I said, the people that make this infrastructure for us, whether it's computers or communication networks, all of it, I don't think it's for the betterment of humanity. I think it's to not get sued in the case of safety for infrastructure.
Yeah, there's a lot of liability garbage out there.
There's,
like you see capes that say it does not make you fly on them and things like that.
Yeah, the one that I always liked was, silica gel, do not eat.
Yeah.
Because somebody did. Somebody ate it.
Yeah,
so they had to put that on there because somebody ate it. So it's built for idiots. So you can cover yourself for liability. But all of the interface for all of our technology that's coming along, or most of it, the stuff we get to use, is incredibly intuitive. I'm 52 years old. I should be washed up and behind the times. But I can use modern devices.
I can use them too.
Maybe not to the full extent, but you don't need the full extent. You can operate it and get by in this world without too much effort. And if you can't, it's a bad device that nobody uses.
Entertainment options are pretty phenomenal. And the ability to sit back and soak in something like a television show is a new kind of skill that I don't know if we had anything quite equivalent to that a long time ago. You can sit there and do literally nothing, not even watch a story, just nonsense. Because especially with the I don't have my phone handy, but especially with the shorts and whatnot that have
no ridiculous YouTube function
that have no point whatsoever. It's just a quick little short, lasts for less than a minute.
Yes,
flip off to the next one. No story, no purpose. People might say, "Oh, it's creative. I'm watching this guy be creative," but they don't remember any of the things that happen in them. It's just I'm bored, I'm lonely, instantly entertained. Flick through it. Now we're in danger here of just sounding like grumpy old men yelling at clouds and yelling "get off my lawn."
It's not a danger. Like the apprentices that I had come up in my trade.
Sure.
When I would try to teach them something.
He's an elevator mechanic.
I probably still am. But I would try to teach them something about the function of a particular machine. Mm-hmm. And they would take a picture of it. And I'd have to tell them, like, that's useless to you. You're standing in front of it looking at it. It's going to look the same in your picture. It doesn't help. If you don't know what's going on now, that picture won't help. You need to understand the mechanics. It's
taking away your attention for even a moment.
It's taking away your ability to comprehend because we're outsourcing our comprehension.
So shows you're not focusing consistently because you're so relaxed that you're really to be like, yeah. And during that moment, as you do that, you're not paying attention to anything that the teacher, which is you in this case, has to say.
It's also outsourcing your comprehension because you can always look it up later. You don't have to understand it. You just have to understand how to get to the point where you can get to the information that will tell you what to do. And that makes for an idiot society.
Why should I learn when the computer knows everything?
Because there's no comprehension skills.
Right.
There's no understanding of the basic principle. You're just getting to the point where you're told how to do it.
Sure, yeah. And this makes sense.
That's the weakest you can be intellectually. When my daughter was young, when we were doing math, other family members would do math with her, and she would get to an addition question.
Sure.
When she was quite young, it'd be 7 plus 5. I think I've used that example before. And she would look at it, and she would go, "Is it 11?" and look up at whoever's teaching. And they'd go, "Oh, that's close." And she'd go, "Oh, is it 10? No. Is it 12? Yeah." She didn't learn a goddamn thing except how to manipulate
how to read people's faces.
Yes, which is great, but it doesn't teach you the math.
No, it doesn't.
And that's what we're suffering from when you have access to all of the information on that device.
Yes, definitely. So I remember reading somewhere that in Homer's time, that possibly the Iliad and the Odyssey were oral stories that people told. And maybe Homer didn't actually write it down himself. Maybe he did, who knows? But nonetheless, this claim is that many bards around in various communities had the whole thing memorized.
Yes.
And now, our brain capacity hasn't changed. Human beings have been around for, 250, 300,000 odd years.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly, but somewhere around there. You take a baby from back then and you raise it today, you could raise it to be roughly the same as everybody else today. Yeah. We haven't changed that much.
Yeah, it would have to be an incredible idiot not to get by, because the modern world is built for idiots.
It's built for idiots. But we're required to know less because we have external hard drives that we can...
It's a tool, and we're outsourcing our comprehension skills to something else.
Yeah, and there should be some baseline of understanding that we are responsible for knowing, so that we can function somewhat in our own homes.
That we should be able to function as a society
rather than just
where we
passively
can all agree
entertaining ourselves as much as humanly possible.
I would like to propose that we have a baseline of understanding for a society, so we have some way to relate to one another. Because with such fragmentation, I can pick one aspect of information that I think is the most important and sink myself in that for days.
I've met, one caveat I have is I've met a lot of very smart people that make me feel like an idiot.
Oh, thank you.
All over,
That's nice
all
of you to
throughout
say.
my life. And lots of very, very smart people. That doesn't mean that I don't agree with you to a certain degree, because I certainly do. I've seen this exact thing. I've experienced it myself.
Yes.
Even I've
I
many
do it
times.
myself.
Yes, I do it myself. I had to change the carburetor out in the sink. I had no clue how to. Well, I kind of had a clue because I know some piping, thanks to the solvent extraction experience I have
Yeah.
doing pumps and piping and whatnot. But I didn't fully understand how to do it or what pieces I was supposed to buy.
Or what code you had to adhere to.
And so when I got this house, there's
For
a
public
lot I
safety.
didn't know about how a house works. I didn't know what soffit was.
Yeah, it's a real eye opener when you find out, eh?
I'm like,
God, my world changed.
I have to replace this thing on the garage. I don't even know what it's called. So I have to go down to the hardware store and be like, hey.
That thing, that stuff that's
Yeah.
over, yeah.
So I felt like a bit of an idiot. I realized that since I never owned a home, there was a ton of things I didn't know.
Yes.
So I agree with you in that extent. That's for sure. And there's more, and we allow for more of those people to exist by making things so easy, so idiot-proof, and increasing all these liability issues.
Yes.
Where you could sue someone for all kinds of nuts things. Sometimes it turns out those cases are more reasonable than you might
The
think.
McDonald's one, very reasonable.
Was it reasonable?
It was very reasonable.
I thought it was reasonable from what I had read
Yeah,
after
you know.
the fact. There was a legend, like an urban legend for a long time, that this was just some stupid lady who spilled coffee on
No,
herself.
that coffee was incredibly hot.
Yes.
Gave her third-degree burns all through her lap and genitalia.
Yeah.
Burned her. All she wanted from McDonald's was to cover her medical bills because her coffee was too hot
Right.
and the lid wasn't attached.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
McDonald's dug their heel in, so she lawyered up and asked for millions.
Yeah. So that's the example I was thinking of. Sometimes those examples where you think someone's an idiot and they litigate, it turns out they actually had a decent point. But, oh my God, it's 21 minutes?
Jesus. All right. So
Oh, you better sum it up.
I guess we're idiots.
I suppose.
Bad way to find out for you if you didn't know. But you got to know at some point.
Is there any lesson to take from this? Like that we can give to the good folks at home?
God, learn how to do a thing so you can understand the world.
Don't just be comfortable with nothing but passive entertainment. You're not going to understand everything, but try to use that spare time to better yourself a little bit instead of just, oh, I'll watch this show again.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to be ignorant. I used to joke that I have a little bit of knowledge on a lot of topics, but every new topic that I stumble across
Makes you realize how
there's
much more
100
ignorant you are.
questions,
Yeah.
which means every new thing that I discover, I become 100 times more ignorant.
Yeah.
And I was aiming to be the most ignorant person that I knew.
Yeah, I understand that entirely. I felt the same way. Each new thing I learn about opens a whole field of things I know nothing about.
Yeah, so stop being an idiot and become more ignorant.
Yeah.
That's a lesson.
Then the world would be made for you and I,
Yes.
because we're all ignorant idiots.
Remember, if you make it idiot-proof,
Something like
God
that.
will build a better idiot.
Okay.
All right, so
Anyways,
yeah,
is that it?
that's it.
I guess we solved it, right?
Yeah, world
right.
should be better by tomorrow.
Well, love you guys.
Enjoy.
Try not to be idiots, and I will do the same. Cheers.
Good luck with him, eh?